I have certain rules I live by. My first rule, I don't believe anything the government tells me. Nothing. Zero.
Hey YouTubers, you're listening to Diverging Perspective. This is your host, Patrick Penry. I wanted to talk about an article from the 1st of April 1st from MSN News, the Evening Standard. Title of the article, Coronavirus Testing Kits Heading to the UK Found to be Contaminated with COVID-19. I should preface this with the fact that on the FDA's front page, they have an admission of the fact that they have not approved any tests specifically for COVID-19. Rather, the test is for the SARS-CoV-2 virus that could cause COVID-19. So, in any case, let me read from the article and let's talk about what this means. Testing kits which were headed to the UK have been found to be contaminated with coronavirus. The government has said that it aims to boost the rate of tests to 25,000 every day by the end of April at the latest, and has asked private companies to help drive up test production. But one production firm, Luxembourg-based manufacturer Eurofins, told UK labs on Monday that deliveries would be delayed as core parts had been contaminated with coronavirus, the Telegraph reported. This shouldn't significantly affect the UK's testing efforts, government sources told the paper. We'll read here from the bottom of the article. I thought this was interesting as well. Professor Anthony Costello, who now works at University College London, told BBC Radio 4's Today program that the UK isn't using its resources as efficiently as countries like Germany, which is doing 70,000 tests per day. By the way, I should comment, I hear Germany's number of cases are quite low. He said, quote, "We have 44 molecular virology labs in the UK. If they were doing 400 tests a day, we would be up to Germany levels of testing, and that is perfectly feasible. If you look at Korea," and I'm assuming he means South Korea, "they have done 490,000 tests. Their death rate is 3 per million, and they have suppressed the virus." This is incredible, folks, on two levels. First, let's look at the contaminated contents of these testing kits. How do they phrase it up here? Let's see what he says. The core parts had been contaminated. Folks, if the swab is contaminated in the test, and you administer the test with a contaminated swab or some contaminated component, which causes the person being tested to become infected with the disease you're testing for, this is extremely counterproductive, to say the least. And folks, if you ask me, I personally would never, knowing this and even previously knowing Bill Gates and what all these guys are up to, you would never test me. You would never test me. You would never vaccinate me. Never again. Never. I do perfectly fine without vaccination. Haven't had one in so long I can't remember. Don't get a lot of flus or colds, and when I do, I get over them in a couple weeks. Not a big deal. So knowing this, I would never go get tested. I'm wary of testing now that we know that some tests, maybe not ones here in the U.S. for certain, but at least some being shipped to UK are contaminated. Where those some of these tests are being made, they're being made all over the world. So the possibility for contamination, whether intentional or by accident, does exist. So I'm wary of taking the test, and I'm wary of getting a vaccination in this day and age. Now, I want to briefly talk to the statistics here this guy is talking about, because what I understand, I don't have stats on Germany right now, but what I'm hearing from some of these reporters from overseas, independent reporters, they're saying that Germany's cases of COVID are quite low as well, mimicking kind of what's going on in Korea. And listen what the guy says. If you look at Korea, they have done 490,000 tests. Their death rate is 3 per million, and they have suppressed the virus. Why couldn't we do this over here in America? I mean, I even showed you guys in a previous video where our country, the DOD, CDC, the military, the government, they've been running drills and simulations for pandemics and terrorist weapon events throughout the years, at least from 2001 up into October of 2019. I've got them on 5 different occasions. One likely never occurred because it was on September 12th, right after the terrorist attacks. That was a Tripod 2, and that was supposed to be a bioweapon attack, which Giuliani gave the keynote address. He did give a speech, although the simulation likely never occurred, like I say, because of the terrorist attacks. Giuliani was part of that. And then I have 4 others, from the Dark Winter to the Atlantic Storm to the Clavidex. I mean, folks, they've been right up into the Event 201. They've been running drills and simulations for many years. I got the guy from the World Health Organization at Event 201 says they've run over 50 simulations in 140-something countries. So for the U.S. to not be up to par with Germany and South Korea? Folks, in my opinion, it must be intentional. And the same is going on in the UK and Britain. If you listen to some of these independent reporters, that's what they're saying. The same thing, that in certain countries they're able to suppress the virus because of their ability to test efficiently, and in other countries where they don't, they're not able to suppress the virus as much. Now, again, take it with a grain of salt, because these tests, according to the FDA, at least none administered here in the States, can actually test specifically for COVID-19, only the precursor virus, which is the SARS-CoV-2. And my understanding is that could cause any number of diseases, so could be wrong on that. I'm not a biologist, but that's what I'm learning right now in any case. So I want to keep this short. This article, though, should drive into your mind the question, is testing safe? Is testing even safe? We know it's not efficient or accurate. We know it's not accurate. Can't even test for COVID-19. Is it even safe? Are they going to swab you with a contaminated swab and cause you to be sick intentionally, by accident? Doesn't matter to me. I'm not going to get tested. If I get the flu, I'm going to stay home, ride it out. Okay, folks, I hope you learned something from this. This has been Diverging Perspective. This is your host, Patrick Penry. Be safe, be healthy, and have a great day. Over and out.